Nigeria is a democracy. There's no question about that. We can argue and quibble about the nature of our democracy. But let us look at what exactly is a democracy. And we will go for the very simple and most popular definition. It is the government of the people, by the people, and of the people. Now, the recurring point in this definition is that the people are central to any democracy. Therefore, the role of the citizens, the role of the people in a democracy is what actually defines that democracy. Where the citizens are not involved, where laws are made that affect the people, where state policy does not deliver on the welfare of the people, where there is no assurance of progress by the people, the democracy will be called into question. And today, we believe that our democracy in Nigeria is called into question because as we heard in the speech by the convener, it is producing mass poverty. Poverty is on the increase in our country. And now we are here today to rise up to the challenge that we really have to reassert the interests and the power of the people in the Nigerian democracy. That's why TBAN was founded as a citizens' movement. TBAN is not a partisan organization. So we say in TBAN that this organization is a non-partisan citizens' movement. And we have come together for the sole purpose of working for Nigeria's unity and progress. Members of TBAN are from different professions, from different parts of the country, from different religious persuasion, from different ethnic nationalities. If you look at this panel, you probably already have that impression. What have we been doing at TBAN? Our activities have been aligned into the three areas that we want to make intervention. We want to intervene by advocacy politically in Nigeria. So TBAN is founded to make advocacy for key political agenda. Of course, one of those agenda, as we also have heard, is to press for a new constitution of Nigeria that reflects a new grand bargain of Nigerian people. It would not be a constitution that is imposed. It would not be a constitution that serves the interests of certain sections of the country. It will be a constitution that serves the interests of every component of the Nigerian Federation. We also want to advocate very strongly for constitutional restructuring of our country, because as we have seen, restructuring is almost now a national consensus, because the structural arrangement that currently underpins the Nigerian Federation is defective, and some have argued that it is not working because it cannot work. So we believe that it is highly important to restructure Nigeria. As you will hear from some of my colleagues here today, we even have a timeline that we would like to see some of these things to happen. The second area that we want to intervene is with advocacy yet again for electoral reform. We believe that the problem of governance in Nigeria essentially lies with the electoral process that tends to produce leaders who we know are illegitimate because the election that they say they won are marred by irregularities. Beyond that, since 2003, we have seen that fewer and fewer Nigerians are voting during elections. That speaks about the loss of confidence by the citizens in the electoral process. So we want to restore credibility to the Nigerian electoral process, because really that is how to save the democracy. So TBAN is advocating that we should bring in technology into the conduct of elections in Nigeria, because we know that the absence of this has played to open the process into abuse, right from the way votes are tallied and the way they are transmitted and collated, and then of course announced. So we think that technology would help and reduce the incidence of human error as well as the manipulation that we have always seen to be associated with the outcomes of our elections. Thirdly, we believe that for us to be able to succeed with the first two agendas that I have mentioned, there is the need to educate Nigerians. Because truly, the reason why we have had the free reign of the politicians that are running down this country is because the citizens themselves don't seem to know better, or don't seem to think that things can be different, and are uncertain that things can be better. That is why they are not participating in the electoral process. That is why they would rather sell their votes, because as far as they are concerned, the 1,000 naira or the 5,000 naira that they are paid so that they will vote in a particular way is the only assurance that they have of getting anything from the Nigerian state. So we believe that we have to educate our people. TBAN is producing a lot of educational materials that will deliver political and civic education to Nigeria. We will roll out this program on the mainstream media, on social media, and any platform that is necessary to reach the last person, the farthest person in the farthest corner of Nigeria. We will reach them. Now, what have we been doing? We've done quite a bit. Within the very short time that we have launched TBAN operationally, and that will be under a very, very difficult situation of the pandemic. Since TBAN launched, we have started a petition for electoral reform in Nigeria, and this petition has been taken to the leadership of the National Assembly, both the Senate and the House of Representatives. So they know exactly what we want. As we have done this, we have also launched an online petition that Nigerians are signing to show their support for the agenda of electoral reform in the country. TBAN also participated in the call for memorandum by the Senate Committee for the Review of the 1999 Constitution. And we have been quite successful in some ways in our intervention. When we saw that the announcement was made and Nigerians were given just about 14 days to make their inputs into the Constitution, we issued a statement to say that that timeline was too tight. In fact, it was as if the Senate Committee was doing Nigerians a favor, that we just had to quickly say whatever it is we want to say because they want to move on with the process. And we said no. So we wrote to the leadership of that committee and we issued a press release calling for an extension of that deadline, and that happened. Following that, TBAN also submitted its own memorandum to the committee, and we expressly made the demands that align with the agenda of our movement. So we called for a new constitution for the Federal Republic. We said that what we need is not another superficial amendment to the 1999 Constitution. And that fundamentally, Nigeria is at a point today that what we need is not patchwork. We need very, very fundamental change in the way that our country is organized. And the way to drive that in and drive it through is through a new constitution that represents the will and the grand bargain of the Nigerian people. We have launched our strategy. Look, I'll speak a little bit about this in some details to fellow Nigerians. This democracy requires the contribution and the active participation of Nigerians. We cannot leave our politics and our governance to politicians. We need the organizing expertise of the Nigerian working executives. That is why I'm here. That is why Pascal Odibo, a strategist and a corporate trainer, is here. That is why my brother, Tope Fashua, even jumped into the fray to see how we could provide a different kind of leadership for this country. You know, some of us think that it was a joke. It wasn't. It was a serious statement that a different kind of leadership is necessary and possible in this country. So he spent his resources, deployed his expertise to run for office in 2019. If he and someone like Professor Kingsley Moghalu had not come out, we would be saying that there is no other kind of leadership option for this country. But because of what they did, because of their sacrifice, we know that we have a leadership option. And we are now reaching out to Nigerians at large. We need to come together. We need to work together. We need to pool our resources together. We need to pool our expertise together. That has started. Mr. Pascal Odibo is leading the strategy committee of this and has helped TBAN to produce a strategy. So we have a strategy, and we are implementing our strategy. He will speak a little bit more about that when he has the microphone. So I'm now speaking about what we need. We need Nigerians. We need you to join TBAN. We need you to lead some of the work that we want to do. We need your expertise. And of course, we need your resources. So that's what we need. And we are now inviting you to join us. Thank you very much as we look towards working together and building a Nigeria that is united and prosperous in the years ahead. Thank you very much. I will now leave the microphone.
Our leaders are so very selfish. Politicians are very selfish. Everybody wants to be in the front line. It's not about the Nigerian citizen or about what is going to happen to Nigeria tomorrow. Our politicians are so very desperate. They think election or being in governmental positions is all about making money. And I always used to tell people, politics is not a means of earning or means of earning a living. Politics is a place, it's a kind of where somebody will deliver a kind of service to humanity. And we need to get it right. If we do not have a good electoral process, we can never have good leaders. Because Nigerians have already lost hope in Nigeria of today. Because whenever people feel if I come out and vote, it's never going to give me a result. Because the process is already so very dirty that people don't get what they voted for. Or the people that are given a token to vote for whatsoever people they voted, because we don't even know them. We're supposed to bring our leaders with capacity. But Nigeria, nobody comes to rule based on merit. We all come based on the money you have or based on your own godfathers. So TBAN is here to tell Nigerians you deserve more. And I'm inviting all Nigerians. You can't say I'm not a politician. If you're not a politician, then who is going to do it? Politicians are bad guys. For how long are we going to say politicians are bad guys if none of us is coming to contribute 100% or give our own quota? So politics is not something that people think is a bad thing. No, every Nigerian should come out and participate in the electoral process. And the main backbone of what TBAN is here to deliver is to see how we can bring in Nigerians to come and even get their own voters card. Though the system is not favoring everybody, it's making it very, very tedious for us, because as a citizen now, I expect everyone to go out and say, I don't have a voters card, but today I want to get it. But the system has not given us any of that. You have to wait for a specific time for you to now go and get your voters card before you even come and vote. So I'm calling on Nigerians, especially the invisible ones. People thought we don't have a middle class, but I know we have a middle class, which are the professionals, the doctors, the lawyers, and whosoever. They are so very invisible, hiding in their own comfort zone, thinking that, yeah, some people will do it for us. No, nobody will do it for us. We all have to come out and get our own voters card, because I'm very sure it will be very, very hard to bribe a lawyer or a kind of doctor with 1,000 naira or 5,000 naira to come and vote for a wrong guy. I'm calling on the professionals to come and bridge this gap between the elites and the masses, because they are the gaps that are supposed to bring a balance to this country. So TBAN main campaign will go on calling on the professionals to come and pay their own quota, get their voters card, and vote in the next coming election. As my colleagues rightly said, the youth, this is our own time. We need to come out and show that we have the capacity. Protest on the road and whatsoever will never give us what we wanted. But what will truly give us what we want is getting our own voters card, going out, fetch the right candidates, back them, and vote them. So TBAN is here calling on Nigerians to come and vote. It's our own rightful country. We don't have any other country apart from Nigeria. We have to come and get it back and make it sure it's being led by the people that are supposed to lead us. Thank you.
Listen to us, must get this straightforward. There is no Messiah coming to save Nigeria. There is no Messiah coming to save Nigeria. It is you, it is me. You will have to leave your comfort zone. I will have to leave my comfort zone. This country must be more important than your business. It must be more important than your philosophies. It must be more important than those ideologies that you hold dear to your heart. The reason is simple. Without the country, there will be no corporates. There will not even be a mosque or a church where you're going to go to. So let me send it clear and loud that this is the people's movement. This is a people's platform. We need the young and the old. And by the way, for those of us that just left the streets for the peaceful protest, NSAS, we welcome you into TBAN. You must move from protest to policy. That's how it works in any and every civilized society. The protest is to get the attention. It's like the burning bush experience. What you now hear is what's going to turn around your next destiny. This is a frameworked place with men and women of honor and of purpose who have been able to develop a document that, if properly and ruthlessly executed, we are on the precipice of a new Nigeria. The press will implore you to be part of this agenda. Without a Nigeria, there will be no press. That's absolutely important. That even the politicians are required into TBAN. If you are fed up in your old political party, come to TBAN. You're not a political party. This is a non-partisan political action group. There are two keywords I'm using very carefully. This is not a partisan, but a political association. We will be bold to engage. We will teach the people of a more excellent way to engage. We will pool resources and pursue political change in the mindsets of our people. People must see things differently. and people must engage. We will orientate Nigerians towards moral and ethical values. We are looking for a new, a different, and a bold new Nigeria. And it resides in all of us. Therefore, a united, prosperous Nigeria in which the citizens wield political power play the role in a nation building. That's our vision. We will build a massive non-partisan citizens movement for driving political change through collective actions and shared values. That's our mission. Our values will be anchored around love. For love is indeed the fundamentals of both eternal and ethereal engagement. I've seen people operate. They sound so nice, but they have no love in their heart. They neither love God, nor do they love man. Their God and their life is they themselves, me, myself, and I. We want to break such philosophies and ideologies. For it is like this. It wasn't like this in the beginning. We believe in a united Nigeria. We believe that the North, the South, the East, and the West, together, we will form a formidable state that will take its place in the pantheons of civilized nations around the world. I believe we can do much more than we have now. The capacities are in. The competencies are in. We just need to deploy it. We are raising a selfless generation. A people that are not interested in themselves, but in the good of all. We champion transparency, openness, open government. You are the owners of the system. You are therefore entitled to know what the system is doing. TBAN, with core value, also speaks about accountability, integrity, equity, and fairness. We will find like-minded people, like-minded associations across in a collaborative effort. So if you sound like us, if you think like us, we will meet down the line. Most importantly, as an institution, we fear God. It is therefore important to close in letting you know two things here. I've spoken about one. I've spoken about one, which is that you are the Messiah, you are the change that you are seeking. But you know, when Tokwe was speaking, it was almost like spoke about what I wanted to talk about. But the truth is that it's important that we're all speaking about the same thing, about the Greek mythology that speaks about the idiots, that speaks about the tribesmen, and speaks about the citizen. I was an idiot. I never bothered, didn't want to bother. But there were many idiots that don't want to bother. You think you're okay. You buy your generator, you leave your living room, you go in and you come out. You start something political, somebody will call you, my friend, you know, are you sure? You want to protect all manners of things. Then you see the tribesmen, they are all over the place. They see everything from the prism of where they come from. Anything they do, is it Yoruba? Is it Hausa? Is it Igbo? Look at the